Next.js interview questions and answers. Beginner means advanced. Introduction. This is a structured set of commonly asked Next.js interview questions with clear answers. It covers X. Next.js fundamentals, routing and rendering strategies, SSR, SSG, ISR, API routes, performance optimization, app router versus pages router, deployment and architecture. This is widely used for front-end and full-stack React plus Next.js interviews. 1 to 20. Next.js Basics. 1. What is Next.js? Next.js is a React framework for building production-ready web applications with features like SSR, SSG, and routing. 2. Why use Next.js? Wow! SEO-friendly, server-side rendering, file-based routing, performance optimization, full-stack capabilities. 3. Next.js versus React. React means UI library. Next.js means full framework on top of React. 4. What is file-based routing? Pages are created based on folder structure. 5. What is pages directory? Old routing system in Next.js. 6. What is app router? Modern routing system introduced in Next.js 13+. 7. App router versus pages router. App router means modern, supports server components. Pages router means older approach. 8. What is SSR? Server-side rendering, HTML generated on server. 9. What is SSG? Static site generation, pre-built at build time. 10. What is ISR? Incremental static regeneration, updates static pages after build. 11 to 30. Rendering strategies. 11. SSR example use case. Dashboards, user-specific data. 12. SSG example use case. Blogs, marketing pages. 13. ISR use case. Product pages with updates. 14. CSR in Next.js. Client-side rendering using React hooks. 15. SSR versus SSG. SSR means runtime rendering, SSG means build time rendering. 16. What is hydration? Attaching React to server-rendered HTML. 17. What is pre-rendering? Generating HTML before browser loads page. 18. What is SEO benefit in Next.js? Pre-rendered HTML improves indexing. 19. What is get server-side props? Fetch data on every request. Pages router. 20. What is get static props? Fetch data at build time. 21. What is get static paths? Generates dynamic routes for SSG. 22. What is fallback in Next.js? Handles missing static pages. 23. What is API routes? Backend endpoints inside Next.js. 24. Example API route. Export default function handler, res. res.status200. JSON. Message, hello API. 25. What is middleware? Code that runs before request completes. 26. What is edge runtime? Lightweight execution environment near users. 27. What is dynamic routing? Routes with parameters like product/ID. 28. What is catch-all route? Handles multiple URL segments. 29. What is nested routing? Routes inside routes structure. 30. What is layout in Next.js? Shared UI structure across pages. 31 to 50. App router concepts, Next.js 13+. 31. What are server components? Components rendered on server by default. 32. What are client components? Components rendered in browser using useClient. 33. Server versus client components. Server means faster, SEO-friendly. Client means interactive. 34. Why use server components? Reduced bundle size, faster rendering. 35. What is streaming in Next.js? Sending UI in chunks progressively. 36. What is loading.js? Loading UI for route segments. 37. What is error.js? Error boundary for routes. 38. What is layout.js? Persistent layout across routes. 39. What is template.js? Similar to layout, but re-renders on navigation. 40. What is route segment? Folder-based routing unit. 41. What is parallel routes? Multiple UI sections at same route level. 42. What is intercepting routes? Override navigation behavior. 43. What is metadata API? SEO configuration inside Next.js. 44. Example metadata. Export const metadata equals title home, description, Next.js app. 45. What is image optimization? Automatic image resizing via Next image. 46. Why use Next image? Click lazy loading, click optimize formats, click responsive images. 47. What is Next font? Optimized font loading. 48. What is static rendering? Pre-rendered HTML pages. 49. What is dynamic rendering? Generated per request. 50. What is revalidation? Updating cached pages. 51 to 70. Data fetching and APIs. 51. What is fetch in Next.js? Built-in data fetching function. 52. What is caching in Next.js? Storing fetched data for performance. 53. What is revalidate option? Controls ISR timing. 54. What is server actions? Server-side functions triggered from UI. 55. What is useEffect in Next.js? Client-side data fetching hook. 56. Why avoid useEffect for SSR data? It runs after render. 57. What is SWR? React hook for data fetching. 58. What is React query in Next.js? Server state management. 59. What is API middleware usage? Authentication and logging. 60. What is authentication in Next.js? Securing routes and API endpoints. 61. What is NextAuth? Authentication library for Next.js. 62. What is JWT? Token-based authentication. 63. Session versus JWT. Session means server stored. JWT means client stored. 64. What is cookies in Next.js? Stores small data in browser. 65. What is CORS? Cross-origin resource sharing. 66. What is environment variables? Config values stored in .env. 67. What is next public prefix? Makes env variable accessible in browser. 68. What is Edge API route? API running on Edge runtime. 69. What is serverless function? Functions deployed per request. 70. What is full stack Next.js? Frontend plus backend in same project. 71 to 100. Performance and advanced concepts. 71. What is code splitting? Loading only required JS. 72. What is tree shaking? Removing unused code. 73. What is bundle optimization? Reducing JS size. 74. What is dynamic import? Const component equals dynamic equals import component. Load components on demand. 76. What is Lighthouse score? Performance measurement tool. 77. What is Core Web Vitals? Google Performance Metrics. 78. What is LCP? Largest contentful paint. 79. What is FID? First input delay. 80. What is CLS? Cumulative layout shift. 81. How Next.js improves SEO. SSR, XSR, metadata, XSR, fast loading. 82. What is CDN? Content Delivery Network. 83. What is caching strategy? Storing responses for reuse. 84. What is stale while revalidate? Serve cached plus update in background. 85. What is deployment in Next.js? Publishing app to production. 86. Where to deploy Next.js? C. Vercel, C. AWS, C. Docker. 87. What is Vercel? Official Next.js hosting platform. 88. What is edge deployment? Running code closer to users. 89. What is observability? Monitoring app behavior. 90. What is logging? Tracking system events. 91. What is error handling? Managing runtime failures. 92. What is fallback page? Placeholder while generating page. 93. What is SEO metadata importance? Improves search ranking. 94. What is accessibility in Next.js? Building usable interfaces for all users. 95. What is incremental adoption? Migrating React apps to Next.js gradually. 96. What is monorepo with Next.js? Multiple apps in single repo. 97. What is TurboPack? Fast Next.js bundler. 98. What is Next.js compiler? Optimizes code automatically. 99. What is production build? Optimized deployment version. 100. How to optimize Next.js app. Check. SSR, SSG where needed. Image optimization. Caching. Code splitting. Reduce client.js. Final summary. Next.js interviews focus on rendering strategies, SSR, SSG, ISR. Routing, app router versus pages router. Performance optimization, API routes and backend integration. Server-client components. Key idea. Strong Next.js developers understand both front-end rendering and back-end delivery strategies.